You want to start us off, Jake?
Yeah, I'll start us off.
All right.
I got a little bit of a rant, and I want to talk about some listener. Oh, and I have a question. So
Yes.
I got a bunch of stuff to go through. I got business to go
Okay.
through.
Cool.
So I'll start with I saw the Batman,
Uh huh.
and it was phenomenal.
Oh, the Batman.
The Batman, yeah.
Is that what's his face? Blanking on his name.
Robert Pattinson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like Edward.
Yeah.
Sad that that's how I know him as.
You'll
He's
know
been in
you'll
some
know
other
him as
things.
something else when you go see the Batman because it's really good.
Nice.
That's
I was
my
hoping it would
rant
be.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a unique take on the character that we haven't seen before,
Mm-hmm.
and it took out some of the theatricality that Christopher Nolan had, but it kind of added it in a different place. We'll one day go through all the Batman movies and
That'd be
discuss
good.
them.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
But, I mean, we've already done one, so if you want to go check out our Batman and Robin episode, go ahead and search for that.
Yeah, I'd
Wherever
be
you
curious to
listen.
see what that one looks like. I know that's not what this episode's about, but
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of comic material to pull from
Mm-hmm.
for Batman, and I'm a fan of the Nolan ones because I think they did a good job of taking a certain aspect of Batman in at least in some of the stories. And yeah, I'll put that on my list of to dos to
Cool.
watch.
Cool. So, second order of business, it was brought to my attention. So, I want your just off the cuff response to this.
Okay.
What is your favorite Kirsten Dunst movie?
Just anything that she's in, or does she have to be one of the main characters? Is she a main character? Yeah, she is in a couple. Right?
Yeah. Anything she's in. When you think Kirsten Dunst, what movie comes to your mind?
It's usually the Spider-Man movies, to be honest.
Okay.
But it's funny because I didn't know. I knew she was in that, and then I realized a couple years later sorry, I should backtrack. When the first one came out in '99, probably a few years later, I realized, or is it 2001? I got wrong. I know my years. I think it's 2001, and then I found out she was the girl in Jumanji.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was always a favorite of mine as a kid. Those are the only movies I can think of, though. But I know she's been in a few other things that I've seen. I just
Okay,
can't recall right now.
So your
that's-
answer is Spider-Man.
It's the Spider-Man because it just stands out.
Okay. Well, the theory running around online right now is that your favorite Kirsten Dunst film is the fastest way to identify anyone's tastes. I know exactly who you are, depending on how you associate Kirsten Dunst in your life.
That's
You
interesting.
said-
I like it because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. So for it to be from that movie,
Exactly.
that would actually say about 80% of what you need to know about me, probably.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to
That's funny.
say Jumanji, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably Spider-Man for me too.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I mean, it was a trilogy, and so she appears more in it. So I think that stands out.
and I was
more
like
for that
older,
reason.
like
Yeah.
I wasn't really like paying attention to actors and actresses, especially ones that were like my age. Like I knew Robin Williams was in it.
That's a
And that
good
was
point.
all-
I knew the older ones more, and then so anyone who was a kid, like saying Jumanji, I didn't realize who they were until I was older. But now I'm getting to the point where I learned all the people who are older generations above us, a few generations maybe, and now that we're getting kind of old, they're the ones that like I think Robin Williams was that age when we were kids. So now, yeah.
Yeah, I
like-
hate
it's a
getting
cycle.
older. But you know what I love? I love giveaways, Zach.
Oh, giveaways? I like giveaways too. Are you giving me something? Because I'll take whatever you got.
I got nothing for you, but for one lucky follower on our Instagram,
Ooh.
here's the deal. We're gonna make a deal with you. We did a giveaway around the end of the year, and we did a nice $50 gift card to the theater of your choice to a lucky follower on our Instagram. And I heard back that was awesome and neat and enjoyable for that listener. So we want more reviews and listener interaction on our social medias. So if by the end of March, which I believe has 31 days in it.
That is correct. My son's birthday is on the 31st.
There we go. So for your son's birthday,
I'll just give it to him. No one's gonna get it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I don't have the power of that Jake's power of the purse in this duo, I think.
If we get 10 reviews on Apple Podcasts by March 31st, one of our lucky followers will get a gift card to a theater of their choice.
We need 10 reviews, guys. 10. Come on.
That's all. That's easy.
Give me those damn reviews. Come on. Sorry.
The only qualifications, you've got to be in the U.S. Sorry. You've got to have a valid email address so I can send you the gift card. And you got to be following us because I don't want to give this to somebody who's just not following us.
Just a random person.
Yeah, just a random. It's about to be summer movie season. Again, The Batman's out. I've seen it a couple times. It's the first time I've gone to it's the first time I've gone to a movie more than once in the opening week in like 12 years. So yeah, I mean, it's about to be summer movie season. We love movies. We want you guys to watch movies. Follow us and review us. And, you know, I'm not saying it has to be a 5-star review. If you hate us, go ahead and just leave that review. You'll still be entered for the contest as long as you're following us. We just want to engage.
Tell us whether you hate us, love us, want to see us improve, or want us to just stop altogether.
You know what?
I'll ignore that, but feel free to mention it.
You know what? Everybody in the world is going for the greatest podcast. We're going the other way with it. We just want to be near the bottom.
Yeah.
Near the bottom of your, like, we like them enough to say 1 star.
Yeah.
They're not hurting
Jake,
anybody.
I don't know if that's a good business strategy. I'm just saying.
No, I knew I should have stopped talking, but then my mouth kept going.
So anyways.
So what movie are we doing today, pal?
I heard it was another military movie we're supposed to watch.
Yes.
Okay, so this one is a comedy.
Yeah, we took it in a different tone.
Yeah, just to lighten it up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, 'cause some of these movies can be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And this one is Stripes from 1981, starring Bill Murray and how do you say his last
Harold
name?
Ramis.
Or is it Ramis? Okay,
Yeah.
Harold Ramis. John Candy's in it too. That's a delight.
He is. Thermometer? Let me see.
Oh yeah, let's go into that. Give me your guess.
I'm gonna say critics were at like a 70, and audience is at like a high 80s.
Critics actually gave it an 88%.
Wow.
And the audience was a 79%. So you kind of got it flip-flopped. Yeah, no.
Flip-flopped.
It's funny for a comedy too. That's pretty high. There's 41 critic reviews, so so it's coming in fresh, doing pretty well. That's a B plus, right? So,
well, I feel like anything in the 80s, if you put Bill Murray or Harold Ramis in it, you are gonna do well.
Yeah.
They're both legends. In both the comedy sense and the film sense. It's directed by Ivan Reitman, who passed away recently. And, so I grew up in the 90s. I missed this kind of generation of comedy for the most part. But, I got to see it on VHS and stuff. I more grew up with, a Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler kind of mentality where it was a little kookier.
Yeah, same.
And it feels like with the 80s, it's quick and it's fast, but it's not as... It's a little more grounded. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't really
almost, like, makes you think. It's that where there's, like, highbrow.
Yeah.
It's not always, like, highbrow if you want to think clean. But there's more behind the joke, I feel like. And then it kind of degraded, I guess, where it went kooky. And then we got to kind of, like, low-brow. As much as I like Anchorman, that was very slapstick. Once you get to the real slapstick. There's some slapstick 80s type stuff. But you also had this, Stripes.
So, I mean, comedy is subjective. Mm-hmm. So I'll try and word this properly. Mm-hmm. Where 90s comedy, and I'm not saying that Adam Sandler isn't funny on his own and Jim Carrey isn't funny on his own, felt more like it was people being put into goofy situations. Mm-hmm. Where with Stripes and Ghostbusters even, it feels more like the people are goofy being put into these situations. Like, it doesn't feel like they're acting. It just feels like they're friends having a good time, just like improving and, you know, playing off of each other rather than just, we're in the army now, which is a Pauly Shore movie, which we'll go into that some other time.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because now I'm thinking of stuff like, would you say Anchorman is a goofy people in some goofy situations, because technically they're news anchors, so it's more of goofy people, but then you have him jumping into the bear thing towards the end,
right,
which is a goofy situation. Stuff like Family Guy is goofy characters and goofy situations. It's a cartoon.
I mean, I think it can be both. I don't think it has to be one or the other, but there can be a middle ground where it's a little bit of both. But you've got to play that balance. If there was more and more where it was just kind of, they just made everything more and more goofy because they kept just trying to... I don't know. Now I want to take a broader look at comedy over the last, 4 decades. Right.
And really analyze that. That's very interesting. Because this is 41 years old now.
Oh, jeez.
Because we're 30. Yeah, that would...
No.
This is old. I forget how old Bill Murray is.
I was watching episodes of The Simpsons the other night, and it was like, this is a 30-year-old episode that I'm watching, and it's just kind of blew me away. Yeah. But anyways, Stripes.
Yeah, I know we keep going on.
I know we're on.
But we're millennials. I'm getting nostalgic about this whole thing. So
but anyways, I feel like this is goofy people in kind of a normal situation. But there are some goofy elements in the fact that, they go to Czechoslovakia in Winnebago. That's decked out for military kind of stuff. But, I mean, what were your thoughts on it? What did you like? What didn't you like?
It was a little bit longer movie, but it didn't seem too long.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of, because you've been talking about different acts, right? So then you have kind of the beginning where he's lost his job, girlfriend, apartment. He says that specifically. And then just kind of like, let's just go join the army.
Yeah, there's your inciting incident.
Yep. Then you get in there, and then you have the kind of introduction into there, kind of ease into the military life for them and the relationship dynamics between each of them. And then I guess the turn or twist is when the sergeant gets blown up, right? Because then it kind of dips a little bit in the, I don't want to just say the tension, but the plot. So I'm kind of doing a quick little...
No, go for it.
But just thinking about the acts a lot in this, and then that whole 2/3 of the last act was the Czechoslovakia, and then doing the oh god, what was it called for the presentation thing for the show?
Yeah, the color guard or... Yeah. No, it wasn't color guard. It was...
No.
It was like their graduation or something.
From basic. So there was, I guess it was that, and then
Yeah.
Because that was their assignment they got.
Yeah. That
It
feels
almost
like the midpoint to me.
it felt like they were treading water, in the progression of the story, and then they have that, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It's like a nice small win, and then, hey, also, like, we're gonna put you out here. It's almost like they earned it, but then they get into shenanigans, essentially.
Yeah, a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, it was funny. There were some good lines. There's something that was said, I can't remember right now, that was like, oh, I've said something similar to that, and it's kind of funny that I wish I remembered what it was.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta look up some lines here, because there were a couple that got me.
Yeah.
Bill Murray in the 80s, on top of his
dry
game.
delivery is kind... I'm not saying I'm as good as him, but I do dry humor when I say stuff to people, and I don't think they get it, which is great in my opinion, because then if they don't get it, I can just play it off like... That's really what... I could just keep going with it. But then if they do get it, they're like, oh that's funny. I see what you're doing there.
Right. Yeah, so the recruiter asks them if they've ever been convicted of a felony or misdemeanor. And he goes, convicted? No.
Yeah, convicted? No. Yeah, it's just the timing and the silence in between really kind of sets that up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could just say... Convicted, no. Like, even if you just spat it out, it wouldn't have the same pizzazz or weight behind that, I guess.
Oh, that was a good one. When his girlfriend leaves him and he just... And then depression set in.
And yeah, that too, yeah. That's good.
You could join a monastery. Did you ever see a monk get wildly fucked by some teenage girls? Never. So much for the monastery. You can't go. All the plants are going to die.
Yeah, that made me think of our friend Tim, because he's a plant dad. Shout out to Tim, because I think he listens to the podcast. But yeah, he has, I don't know, probably like a wall full of plants now at this point. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh.
Just, I mean, to be on the set with John Candy and Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. But yeah, they go to Czechoslovakia. So, I mean, not necessarily a war movie, but a military movie. Mm-hmm. They're basically, and I feel like it's relevant even in today's times where, you don't know what to do, go join the army. And, their circumstances just lead them to a place where they feel like, we'll go give it a year or however long and just kind of get stuck in it.
I will say, because I was just double checking kind of like plot points here, the romance part that kind of pops up seems kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I know there was his a little bit of flirting, Bill Murray's character in the beginning.
Right.
Sort of flirting, whatever, or he's pretending. Yeah. And then just kind of pops up again. So, I mean, I don't know if something was cut out of that or if that was just a quick way to kind of shoehorn that in.
Yeah.
And it's a comedy, so it kind of doesn't matter that much, but it felt not completely out of place.
It felt a little forced.
Yeah, that's all. But I think the rest of it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to not see because we can still kind of point out the acts like we were mentioning, but I feel like the structure was a little bit, it's linear as in time-wise. It could kind of jump around a little bit and not feel, which is kind of cool because it doesn't feel confined and it can have its own kind of vibe as a movie. Not tone, but like, yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that very well.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, in terms of the women, like it feels just the relationship romance aspect of it feels weird. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel like they needed some sort of competence in the third act when they like go try and save people because they're not the best soldiers by their own admission, and these women are like professional, they're military police, they like these guys, but like they know their shit, and they do.
They seem like they can kick ass, which is cool.
They do a lot when they actually like go to, save the rest of the guys. They're not like damsels in distress or anything, and I feel like, Winger and Russell are just very incompetent soldiers, and they needed some way to have some kind of competent backup there, because if not, it's a comedy, but they wouldn't have gotten very far. Why are they, what sets them apart from the guys that got captured? They've got these badass chicks with them. So they can,
yeah, that's true. That's a clear distinction.
Yeah.
For sure. Which is funny. So then we have that, and then I guess you get a mix of things. Do you find the mud wrestling part? Do you find that distasteful? I don't know if it like really added that much.
No, it didn't. It felt like
I
mean we're in the era of Porky's.
Like, oh, okay. But,
yeah, there's a lot of nudity in it for being a movie that's mainly males. And at a military base, there's a lot of nudity in that movie. Yeah. I don't think it was necessarily necessary, but I mean, looking at the comedies that were coming out in the early '80s, you've got Porky's, and Animal House was in the '70s, and they were only 28 to 30 when they were making it. So, I mean, they're making it for slightly younger people. They're making it for college kids. You get college kids to movies by, putting some gratuitous nudity in there. So I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it really showed anything about the characters or, anything.
It felt very... Yeah. Like, we knew why that would be in there. I don't know if at the time we have that same analysis. But like,
they needed a situation to go get in trouble for.
Yeah, there was that too, because then they did get in trouble because they got a little too rowdy. Yeah. And all that.
So, I mean,
I guess
didn't
the cool
necessarily
thing
have
was
to be
that
about wrestling.
I was a little confused at first if they were messing with John Candy's character, but then he really got into it, and then they were beating the crap out of him. So it was kind of in a way playful, but then you get the gratuitous nudity. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was just kind of a circumstance of the times. It was just kind of that's what they were doing in a lot of comedies in the '80s. Yeah. Because there's like a scene where the lieutenant.
He's
like
peeping Tom. Yeah.
Fun fact about that lieutenant, he is the narrator in the original and remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, all around, great movie. Love Harold Ramis. I have a quick little rant about Harold Ramis. I went to go see the new Ghostbusters not too long ago.
The newest new one?
The newest new one. And at the very end, they put a for Harold at the end of it in like a sweet way. Like, no spoilers, but it's a sweet movie. And one of the punk-ass teenagers in front of me just chimed up so loud with like a, "Who's Harold?" And it just made me so mad. The kids these days.
It's obviously for someone who died. And I mean, I know who it is. And I get they don't.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. But, hey, to the credit of the people that went to go see the Batman over the last week that I've gone to go see it, there were not that many texters. Nobody was really talking. It was a fairly good theater experience. So nice. I think that we're making an impact in the world.
I think it's time for me to go back out there. I haven't seen a movie in person in 2 years.
Here's what I'll say.
It's time.
I'm struggling with this too. To all of you listeners out there that want to go see movies and hate when people text and stuff, there's nothing wrong with telling somebody to shut the fuck up.
I think I've mentioned this before, maybe not on the podcast, that I think the older I get, the more like I don't give a fuck kind of feeling I get to. I haven't crossed that line yet with strangers,
Yeah.
But with people I know, I'm getting more like, I don't have time for this. Like, can you just at least, and then speak my mind a little bit more. So
Yeah.
I would back that up too, please.
Yeah. I mean, don't get in a fight. Don't get any violence or anything. But like, hey man, watching a movie, can you put the phone down?
Yeah.
Like, that's all. And there was a situation at one of the theaters where it felt like there was a girl near the front of the auditorium area where her and her friend were giggling about something during like a quiet, emotional scene, and we could all very closely hear them. It could have been echo from the hallway behind us. It's possible, but I didn't feel like if I stood up right now and said, "Shut the fuck up," I felt like the rest of the theater would have been like, yeah. You tell her. So, I mean, everybody wants to tell that person to shut up, but nobody has the balls to. So I'm trying to be the balls.
You
Hashtag be the balls.
Channel those balls.
Yeah. Hashtag be the balls, people. All right. Hold on. I'm writing it down. I'll put it on our Instagram. Yeah. So, final thoughts, Stripes?
Final thoughts on Stripes. I love Bill Murray. I'll watch pretty much anything, I think, with Bill Murray in it. This was a good look back at what 80s comedy kind of brought us, taking us from that, like you said, kind of the Porky's Animal House, 70s to 80s stuff, leading us into what we grew up more with, but as we've talked about, was exposed to these comedies as well. I had older siblings, so it was also easy to be exposed to stuff that was from the 80s.
Yeah.
So, while I was growing up, yep. But I enjoyed it.
Same.
Something simple as that.
Yeah, same. They didn't try to overdo it. They didn't. I love that it's a Winnebago.
Yeah.
Just randomly, like that was a nice little payoff. I don't think it was a payoff, but just kind of a nice little add-in. Great cast, good writing. A little gratuitous on the nudity, but hey.
Yeah, I'm surprised it was rated so high from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it was a little bit higher than I would expect. Maybe like an 80, but 88 seems high. But
yeah, you're giving it a B.
Would you agree with that, or the audience score of 79%? I guess I'm more toward like maybe 80%.
Yeah, I mean, I'd split the difference. I'd go in the middle of that because it's not the best movie ever made, but like it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's definitely worthy of a B of some kind.
Yeah, it's in the 80s somewhere. Yeah. It's in the 80s somewhere.
Yeah, it was made in the 80s. Oh, wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, I see.
The score, sorry.
Oh, you think you're so funny.
No, not really. I don't think I'm that funny.
You are funny. Hey.
Hey, pick up that bald head of yours.
Hey, big guy, why don't you tell us a joke? We'll all laugh.
What's a cat's favorite color?
What?
Purple. I can't make the purr noise.
You can't.
Purr is as in a cat's purr. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm not good at rolling my R's. Yeah. That's why I took German instead of Spanish. So.
All right. Well.
Auf Wiedersehen.
We're all laughing. That was see, you had it there.
There you go.
Avita say.
It's about timing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of here.
All right.
Should we tell them next week's movies?
And also follow us on Instagram and rate us on Apple Podcasts.
Give us those reviews. Rate. Tell us what you think. We want to know your thoughts, comments, anything would be great.
We want to make it better. We want to give you what you want. So tell us what you want, what you really want.
Yeah. We want to find what's most titillating for your ears.
Yeah.
For the audio.
What's perking those ear holes up?
Yeah, just tell us. What do you think we're going to do for next episode? Which one? Should we tell them?
Yeah, tell them. It
Okay,
starts
next one.
with a 1.
And then
9.
and then another 1.
1.
This is getting out of control. And then a 7. 1917.
1917.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be the next military movie.
Again, going to a different area, but we wanted to lighten it up and watch Stripes and, love movies.
And then we'll hit another classic, but we'll tell you on next episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Avidase.
You take care. And goodbye.
Goodbye.